this is going to be a tutorial video on how to get the attack version of the Pelican. Now this one, I can go over here. For one, it's got the turret in the back, and then it's also got the actual guns and stuff. They got a little reticule. There you go. And it shoots. And obviously AI is controlled as well by doing that, but there you go. So we're gonna do this today. Let's do this. So starting off, we have the Pelican OG, which is the original version that was ever made. I kind of had to make another export so that it would actually work. This one obviously is the actual Pelican itself. Now, for the sake of it, I'm going to just use my Pelican file that I already have, because by doing this, you then have to change it. So you'd have to do, because it's not Pelican anymore, but it's still trying to call it up as Pelican. So you'd have to do Pelican OG Pelican model. And then that's how you would fix all that if you're creating another file. Or if you're creating like a custom thing. But for the sake of this, we're just going to edit the settings here, but they'll still be working on here. So, obviously we can open the model, and then here's where it'll give you some of the details as far as variants. So it'll tell you the different variants that they have. Attack is the one that we want because it'll have these two. The hard point left, hard point right, those are the actual main turrets themselves. And then rocket pod vehicle in the Pelican vehicle, that's what we're going to eventually access as well. So now, if you're getting the error where it falls through the thing, you want to make sure in the physics model that proxy collision group is set to none for the material. And then that's pretty much how to take care of that. So then for these, we're going to go through these two different files and we're going to check out what's different. So we come down here to seats. This is probably the most important part. So we're going to check gunner for that because the driver is going to also be the gunner in this case because you're going to be shooting the two rocket pods. Label, you want to change this from Pelican D because you can't fly Pelican D to Warthog D. And then move this to that as well so that that all works with that. Controls open and close. Invalid for player, you definitely don't want that to be accessible. And then I believe that's all for that. And then vehicle tags, you want to make sure non-combat vehicle, it's a combat vehicle, so you're going to want that off. So now that we have all of that, now it's time to go into the actual rocket pods themselves and get these done. Okay, so we're just going to be changing these over to what we have on the previous one then. So change that. All of these are pretty much derived straight from the Scorpion tank vehicle file and weapon files, so we're going to be doing that. So now that we got to the unit tags, you want aiming on because obviously these are going to be aimed at things. Controlled by parent's gunner and parent's primary weapon. So now for these ones, you're going to want invisible and enter on third person. Where is it? Third person on enter. Get rid of gunner. Then for this, we're going to just change it to that. And gunner enter. So now open the weapon. Let's put that on this side. And we're going to open the weapon on this one. Right. It's not going to let us open it because it's set to the old one. So we're going to have to actually change that. Rocket pod weapon, and that. So let's get this. Now extension of parent, same. Now down here to the main weapon tag, secondary trigger overrides grenades, strict deviation angle. So down here this is what I have, the Scorpion turret chud definition. This is pretty much the UI that shows the actual reticule. Otherwise, you won't actually know. So I have it set up to be the Scorpion. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I personally prefer doing it. So we're gonna do, I think it was right there actually. UI, or not. UI should, yeah, so here it is. So we can do Scorpion turret. There, and then that'll have that turret. And obviously you want to keep all these the same. Secondary, barrel, primary. Now, after you've done the first rocket pod, save that, and then we get to try looking at the second one. Alright, so yeah, for this one we're just going to go and do the exact same thing, uncheck that, and then continue going down to unit tags. Want circular aiming, controlled by parent's gunner, parent primary weapon. Keep going down and down and down. So, invisible third person on enter. Invisible, don't want gunner third person on enter. Cool. And then again, gunner enter. Alright, let's go down. And then all the rest should be the same. Yeah. So now we're going to want to go into the weapon tags for these. Or actually, no, not. Okay, so we actually don't need to go into these ones just because we already accessed the rocket weapon pod. So I believe that the only thing left would be to get it set up. So after you have all those saved, make sure all the files are actually accessed right. They're not just like how I have it. I'm kind of a bad example right now. But, so let's try this. So we're going to edit types, add a new vehicle, go to here, add that. Hopefully we don't get any errors because I did copy and paste it pretty much. Okay, is it added? Oh, yeah, let's delete the oh. So, looks like someone got in our vehicle. Or it's us. Yeah, it's us. Oh. So, we're going to get out of our own vehicle. So, we're going to put a new one down. Vehicles. Let's do that. Then we're going to go to Pelican at the very bottom. It'll be, by default, it'll be the cinematic one, like how we saw in the tags. So it's not going to have anything that you actually want. So we have to change it to, where is that? Variant name, attack. I know if I actually do that, and hit attack. And you'll notice that spawns on there now, and the missile pod should be set. And if everything worked out right, should be able to, yep, there it goes. Now you'll probably get an error for the rocket pods. I don't know how to fix that yet. I do know how to hide the error. That's why it's not showing up on mine. That's only the only reason why you don't see the error. But that's how to make the attack Pelican pliable. For anyone who didn't know. I didn't know before this, so now hopefully everyone else can do it on their own. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.